Welcome everyone, it's Vapor Dragomar. It's time for some more Elder Scrolls Online. We are going to be showing what happened when my first Arcanist went to the War of the Chasm. And this was an interesting journey, to say the least. We attended the Council of War, and we were listening to discuss preparations for the coming assaults. We do need to attack Molag Bal and to cause problems. We need to end the plane meld before Nirn is destroyed. We must deal with the planar vortex. Yes. And King Dinar gives a speech about how we are going to cross the chasm to find the planar vortex. The planar vortex is a interesting swirling cataclysm of plasmic energy as such. And the funny thing is, we finally have some of that energy at our command in a way, but instead we're using the Daedric Prince Hermaeus Mora instead of the plasmic energy of Molag Bal. Now, we have other forms of energy at our command to actually fight Molag Bal, because this does not fight Molag Bal. This merely stops Molag Bal from pulling the entirety of Nirn into Cold Harbor using the planar vortex created by the Great Shackle. I've done this quest line a number of times, so even though I can't hear what they're saying because the audio didn't exactly come out in the wash, I still totally know what is going on without King Dinar speaking a word. So, yeah, but we do have to sit here for a while until King Dinar finishes his speech about how we will use the Mages and Fighters Guild to cross the chasm, which is the first step on the journey to defeating the planar vortex. Cadwell's just sitting over there eating a loaf of bread while he's trying to listen to this speech. He is definitely not opposed to the idea of eating it without utensils and without slicing it. So, yeah. Speaking of the Cadwell Guild, I have been making tremendous progress. Not only do I have the Cadwell cap like Cadwell has, I also have gotten the Cold Harbor Eyes since this point, so I can make a much more convincing and much more terrifying harborage than the first Arcanist harborage now. Cross the chasm and make our way to the planar vortex at the heart of Molag Bal's realm. Now that we know the plan, special request. Mission needs a leader. Let's lead assault across the chasm. We got a CP. We have since gained nearly 200 more CP since this point. So yeah, that is a indication of just how far I've come. Combined forces of the Fighters and Mages Guild, yes. Take the battle to Molag Bal to reach the planar vortex. It all starts at the chasm. Yes. Narrow, well-defended span of rock swarming with Daedra and dominated by a gatehouse. Yes. Yes, indeed. Digital Imperial Edition upgrade. There is a lot to be said about crossing the chasm. I do more stuff, and I do... This region of cherry blossoms in the Hollow City is a paragon of Cold Harbor. I still have my guar. I still use the guar, other elements, including, but not limited to, you have your knickers in a twist sitting on the side of the chasm. Perfectly fine army. You're well and truly flummoxed before you can confront more like Grunda. Few irksome focus stones. Yeah, we have to go break the focus stones. The multitude of Dremora is sitting on top of the focus stones. Yeah, the Dremora are not much of a challenge for this guy. Let's get over there and blow up the Dremora. We'll see these NPC fighters just lounging around in this void stone, Cold Harbor ash stone pathway. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to blast these Dremora Kindvalds and that Zivali and blow up the stone. But yeah, I'm only one CP off from completely eclipsing this score by another 200 points. That is how far I have come already. But I'm not done yet, and I'm also learning more about dual wield. Dual wield has evolved substantially. I have had multiple characters now with level 50 on dual wield and have learned better skills of dual wield. Better ways to manage stamina with dual wield as well. Thinking about evolving that ability. I haven't really been focusing on Arcanist too much lately. We're destroying the second focus stone. Need to look up some guides on Arcanist so I can improve my Arcanist abilities, DPS abilities, so that I can get a better parse with Arcanist, because my Arcanist parse is pitiful, honestly. Needs help. I mean, the beam is fine, but I need a better way to empower the beam. My build has not empowered the beam or the other abilities enough. So I need to look up more about that. Now, I know we're melting these Zivali and these Dremora Fearkin very effectively with the Arcanist, but remember, they're not exactly the best metric of the actual damage and the actual parse ability of the Arcanist. The actual metric of that has to be measured by other measuring stuff. And we're crossing it with the other Argonian, though. You could tell this was slightly recent. You can tell this was after the Necrom update. We destroy that focus stone. It's got a very, like, kind of a gothic-ish motif, but not quite. Portal belongs, and there's an Argonian woman walking towards the portal. We got to close the portals, the west and east portals. And the ground is made of like the rest of Cold Harbor, of a form of mineral that is not found in regular nature. We're going to be frying these Dremora churls. I have been playing some Street Fighter 6, but it's completely taken over by Aki to the point where it's repulsive. Look at all those dead Ogrims. Holy mackerel. Yeah, you can tell a lot of people have been through here. So there's still a portal here. And there's the other Ogrims and Banekins and Zivali. We're trying to build up the Crux using some of that dual wield. Some more of these Banekin and Zivali are coming out of the portal. Gonna get our Tide King's Gaze out here. Gonna loot that gold. There is... So, these Ogrims are not... They're very telegraphed in terms of their ability to actually beat them. The Imperfect Ring does a lot of damage to him. There was a fair amount of lag, but it's still Arcanist, so Arcanist does Arcanist damage. You can tell this is my past self because I pick up Daedra Husks. I don't do that anymore. I've closed the portal. We're going to be moving on. Going to be blasting these guys, Demora Churl and Demora Fearkin with the beam. I still have a hell of a lot of Elder Scrolls content I can post, by the way. I just want to point that out. This is only a small percentage. And I'm taking advantage of this because in Street Fighter 6 I am struggling. In Zelda Tears of the Kingdom I am, you guessed it, struggling. So I might as well do something show something I wasn't struggling at or a game that I'm doing well at. And I was doing some other stuff earlier, but it was a little bit of a struggle because not because of the game itself, but because of the person I was training. So I was training somebody at this game, and that was selling Emperor title. What a really. Sell PvP grinds. What the hell is that supposed to be? Whatever. Sounds dumb. You can just earn it. I'm going to blast these Dremora Fearkin to pieces. The beam. The Fate Carver. There's Captain Iraq. Didn't realize that was her there. And now we can make it, I believe, all the way to the gatehouse. We have the chasm well in hand. Not bad. Let's get in there for Molag Grunda. Molag Grunda has a lot of hostility and causes a lot of trouble. Molag Grunda is acknowledged in Cold Harbor's Molag Bal's daughter, though it's not clear what that relationship means to a Daedric prince. And people are not happy about her being on their assignment. There's a lot of winged twilights in here. And there we go. And some Daedra husks. And take these out. And there's this very interesting, I guess they're made out of iron girders. Got to deal with Zithua. Zithawa? I don't know how to pronounce that. To feed her. Get that. Try to interact with the lever. I mean, it takes more effort to pronounce the name of that guardian than it takes to defeat them, if I'm perfectly honest with you. And I think they come as twins. Zithua as the Nothtel. Yeah, Zenotel is the guy, so they're like a couple or something. Yeah, I think so. Well, anyway, they're both fried. Yeah, I suppose this is a majestic part of the chasm, right? Got an interesting flywheel mechanism. We unlock the gatehouse that is made out of, pull this door chain, very large door chain. And there's Tiny, the comical Daedra fiend of doom. We're going to be blasting him a lot. He's going in on Cadwell, who seems unfazed but doesn't seem to try to repulse the attack. She wants to rip out her heart and gut our innards for Molag Ball. She looks an awful lot like a slightly larger Twilight. We dodged some of her attacks here. Get that Tide King's Gate was the beam, and she's toasted. Yeah. That is the might of the Arcanist versus that. It's yeah, I was very fun about this, and we made it to the orchard, and we met Vonus Galarian. And we secured the area, control the chasm, and there we go. Like and subscribe. I'll see you all later. Yep.